Okay, we're in San Francisco. This is Adam Cahoon, who's looking back through Artzone 461 to see all the people who've come to look at his paintings. He's an artist who's on Saturday, September 17th, 2011, has a show. What's the whole show called?
The show's called Portraits of an Absurd Nature.
Portraits of an Absurd Nature.
Yeah.
And this painting in particular, let me pan this quickly first. This painting here, Adam's going to talk about, and it's, let me get back up a bit from it so I can try to get the whole thing. But then I'm going to zero in on Adam when he talks about this painting. Okay. So, give us the title of this painting.
The title is 1 Unit of Infinity.
Stand a little closer to it so I can get you both. There. That's Adam. That's Adam.
So it's called 1 Unit of Infinity.
Yep.
It's, like the title of the show, Portraits of an Absurd Nature, it's meant to be some element of nature or science that is absurd. The portraits, it's not absurd portraits, it's absurd nature. And this is I'm using kind of this forest scene to kind of paint a portrait of infinity. And in my mind, infinity is not. I don't think infinity is a number. It's everything. It's some great, complete thing that cannot be broken down into parts. And I'm trying to kind of expose that in this piece. Whereas you don't get to infinity by starting at 1 and counting through 2, 3, 4, 5. Infinity is not a number at the end of a chain. It's the entirety of everything. And so
it's happening all at once.
Right. And so I'm trying to kind of make a parody of that with this, and I'm showing that in this kind of larger landscape is an even larger landscape stuck in the middle of it, with the idea that the closer you get to this one is another landscape, the closer you get to that is another landscape. So
okay, will you point out the several sections?
Well, this is just actually quite literally. This is meant to be like a close, very close foreground that the viewer can kind of put themselves in, like they're standing in the leaves. And then you move up into the mountain range, but then past that is another landscape that this mountain range is kind of resting in. And then I kind of use these.
The colors you were explaining.
Yeah, the kind of almost a cliched, palette of blues and greens to give it that kind of cartoon sense of like fog and mystery and depth and showing that there's something past this that we're not supposed to understand quite yet.
Okay, did you intend it to be cartoony?
No. I use only the color, only the kind of the teals and the blues in the back. I think it's just a really easy trigger. It's not meant to, you're supposed to live here. Like that's just,
You're supposed to live down in the mountain part or in the front part?
Well, both. You stand here, but this is the subject of the story.
You stand in the leaves.
Yeah.
But the subject of the story is you're going into infinity.
In the mountain range within the forest.
In the mountain range within the forest. Okay. Now, is this a typical style that you use? You were saying that you changed your style recently.
Right. Well, my style previous to this show has been entirely abstract, like recognizable forms, but that were pods and geometric shapes. And I found that those, I could make sense of those, or those made sense to me, but in order for a viewer to understand what I was trying to convey with those pieces, I would have to be standing next to the painting, explaining it to the person, and I think that's fine. But if you want to show in a public venue such as this, I kind of feel like the viewer needs to be able to get as much of it, or at least get a healthy amount of meaning out of it, without you standing right there next to them. And so I'm kind of trying to paint the same subjects that I've kind of always been painting, but in a natural environment. So the viewer can see the leaves. They can say, I recognize that. I can investigate this further. There's more comfort there because they see this as a forest. And everyone can recognize a forest, and then they can hopefully get more out of the piece.
And they're not having to work so hard.
Right. Hopefully.
The whole piece is more accessible to them. And you also said you saw more openings for yourself as a painter in this new style.
I think with this, the way I'm painting now, there's more room to paint. I have more I feel like what I was doing before with just the abstract stuff, I was kind of coming to a wall that I can only push that work so far. Whereas like with this, I feel like the ideas can be endless. I have so many subject matters I can pull from.
You can push it to infinity. I'm going to back up from this so I can show the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to slowly back up and let people see the whole painting as much as possible. Can you stand a little closer to it so I can get you with your oeuvre? Adam Cahoon, the great Adam Cahoon, San Francisco, premier artiste. Yeah, smile, Adam, because I'm going to do a close-up of you smiling. Very dutiful, I must say. Let's do it again. Do another smile. Okay, perfect. Okay.